Hi, everyone, and welcome to Impossible to Say. My name is Kat Wellington.
And my name is Emily Proctor. I hope everyone is having a lovely, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous week. Are you, Catherine?
I am. Right when we were starting, I was about to sneeze, and then Emily said, well, it's pollen season. And then she told me something that I don't understand at all, which I would like you to repeat for them.
Okay, well, so basically, I saw this on Twitter, obviously.
Hmm.
They only plant male trees nowadays, which is a reason for the super high pollen count. Like I was in Georgia over the weekend, and it was the highest pollen count in the state's history. Which is insane, like, ever, of all time, and it's
Were you
because
dying? Because you have allergies.
yes, I was. It was, like, actually horrible. I, like, could not be outside, and I haven't taken my allergy medicine here in, like, a month because it hasn't been
Right.
that bad, and I just, like, don't think about it. So, yeah, I was sneezing all fucking weekend, but, yeah, it's because the male trees.
Well,
They've
some
left
people,
the
I
females in the dust.
I won't name names, obviously, but some people I might know didn't know that there was male or female trees.
Mhm, and that's okay.
Is
I don't
that
think
like a
this is
normal thing to know? I'm sorry, I had no idea.
I don't think it's the first time that I have heard that. I just was kinda, like, brought back to the forefront of my brain.
But I don't
But
understand
yeah,
because trees don't mate.
let me just do, like, a quick, little search. But yeah, I don't know, I guess it has something to do with their, DNA? Their their genes? The cells? It has something to do with their cells. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah,
Okay, DNA, gene cells. Okay, what do you
yeah,
have for
here we
us?
go. Male refers to pollen producing structures, trees, while female
Okay.
refers to fruit and seed producing structures, which makes so much sense
That
when
makes
you think
so much
about it.
sense. The pollen's so fucking annoying and everyone loves a fruit tree.
Yes. And it's like giving something back to
Yes.
others, you
Oh my
know?
god, I always knew my lemon tree in the backyard was a woman.
Oh my god, that's actually like I didn't know what the female trees were. I just knew that male trees produce pollen like out the ass. That is so beautiful. We are so cool. Oh my god.
I had no idea that they were gendered. Okay. That's gonna make me think a little bit more when I'm walking around now.
Yeah, keep an eye out. I mean, we're few and far in between out there, I guess, but we're out there.
So why aren't we planting the women anymore? Do you know the answer? Or am I
Um,
asking you something you don't know?
you're asking me something I don't know, but I'm gonna guess. I would just assume that maybe the fruit and seed producing trees are too expensive or too difficult to maintain, and it's just easier to just slap a male tree down.
Is pollen good for something or is it just allergies?
I do think they are good for like flowers, like how bees
Oh
pollinate
yeah, the bee. Yeah,
flowers
okay.
and shit.
All
So
right. Well, I
yeah,
guess they're good for something.
yeah, but not in
Jesus.
excess. Just like any large group of males, they're fine, but not in excess.
Yeah, of course. I'm thinking about my house right now because I'm looking at my yard to gender my trees. And I'm in this interesting situation with my landlord, which I just think is funny. It's so fucking stupid. But basically, my heat was broken. Okay. Think about that for a second. Heat was broken in my house.
Okay.
So my house was at about like sitting at about 55 degrees ish. Pretty cold.
Oh my god, that's
Um,
Antarctica for you.
I know,
Jesus.
especially like, well, it was fine during the day, but then, California gets cold at night, really cold in the
Mhm.
mornings. So text my landlord, my heat is broken because it had said low battery, my thermostat. It's an old one, so it's battery operated. I replaced the batteries and it still wasn't working. So that's when I texted him. I said the heat's broken. Then of course he sent someone out pretty quickly, which was nice. And the guy comes and he's like, "Are you sure the batteries are good?" And I was like, and I had this thought like an hour before, like, what if this is my fault? Because it
Oh
did
no.
say low battery on the thing. And then once I changed them, it said nothing. But he was like already on the way once I had registered that as a possibility.
It was too
Um,
late.
so, mhm. So then me and my brothers are like sitting there. My parents were out. The guy comes and I was like, yeah, I took the batteries right out of the pack. And he was like a cool guy and he opened it up and he's like, well, yeah, obviously this isn't going to work. Like the batteries are facing each other, like they're the same way. And I was like, mm-hmm.
Oh
So
my
anyway,
god.
that was hilarious because he was just laughing at me and I was laughing and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to pay my landlord for this. Like, this is completely my fault. Like, whatever. So I texted my landlord and I was like, turns out completely on me. I messed up the batteries. And I was like, I'll pay you like for the service.
Mhm.
Then and you guys remember, like, it is a little bit like difficult. Like, he has been great. I will say he's been amazing because you guys know I had a lot of problems in the beginning. Um, he's an older guy, you know, when like our parents or grandparents like get like hyper focused on something. And he was like, well, did he perform a service? And I was like, not really. Like, he did drill it back into the wall for me because it had fallen off, and he switched the direction of the batteries, but like not really. So then he like took it up with the company and was like, well, he didn't perform a service and he was supposed to call me before he did anything. So, like, anyway,
Oh my god.
and he was like texting me like, I don't think we're gonna have to pay. Like, we shouldn't have to pay for that. And I was like, okay, well, just like let me know because I'm happy to pay. Because this guy sat in like an hour of traffic and like drove to me and he was really nice and
Yeah,
it
at
was my
least
fault.
you're pay for his time at the very
Yeah,
least.
that's just like not how life works. Like, someone is coming to do a service, even if he came and didn't know how to fix it, like, you still pay
Mhm.
for that. So anyway, I just was like, "Okay, well, just, like, let me know." And then he's like, "Well, I just need to know if I should be working with this company in the future." And I'm like
Oh my
like,
god.
"It's all my
Oh my
fault."
god.
And of course, I just made this dumb mistake, and then the company texts me, and they're like, "Your landlord's not paying us. This is not right. Like, this is not okay." And I was like, "Please let me pay you. Like, please let me pay you." And then he texts me, and he's like, "They're lying. I never said I wouldn't pay. Like, I'm paying them." And just, like, this whole situation, I ended up paying my landlord. He sent a check. Um, anyway, all because I put the batteries in wrong. So,
Well,
it's warm again now.
that's neither here nor there, but you're absolutely so right. People at that age, like, you're just, like, making it so much more difficult, and you're making yourself already more cranky than you already are because 'cause they're all incredibly cranky. Like, why? Just pay.
I know, and especially because I said I would pay for it. Like, it is completely my fault. He organized
Yeah.
it. Like, he did the hassle of that, so I apologize. But like, I don't, and I still ended up paying him for it. So I don't really know. I just feel like sometimes older people like make so much more work for themselves. Like, did I
It's,
want
like,
to pay the
actually insane.
$95? No, but like, it was completely my fault, and someone came out and did the service. So it's like he's not just driving over here like out of the kindness of his heart.
I I mean, would you mind, like, sharing with us how much the tab was?
Oh, it was 95. I think I just said that, but yeah,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
not ideal. Definitely. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you wanna just, like, punch yourself, like, it's so stupid, but I just have that happens
I
sometimes.
can't believe, like, your brothers weren't like, "Well, let me just, like, take a quick peek
That's what the
and
guy
see."
said. He was like, "Well, I blame you 2 for sitting here and not looking." They were like, "Well, we didn't even know. She just told us." But he
Oh my
was
god.
hilarious. So, it was fine. I just like of course it
I'm
became this whole back and forth. I'm like fighting with the company, like for what?
well, I was already thinking, I was like, your landlord already, like you guys were kind of in a tiff at the beginning, so I'm sure he's, like, loving having this for ammo, but it sounds like it was fine.
I think because it's been like 8 months now and I literally asked for nothing because I'd just rather not communicate.
Yeah.
Um, I think he likes me more because I
Yeah.
am probably like a very easy tenant. Never late on the rent. He doesn't have to do anything. So I think
Mhm.
like when I did see him one time, he was like, "Thank you so much for taking such good care of the house." And I was like, "You're welcome. Like, it's
Oh my
beautiful. Like
god.
we've come a long way."
You guys are making amends. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, he came over, like, and to fix something outside, and he just saw, like, the lawns, and he was like, "It seems like you're really, like, taking care of it. It looks great," and, like,
Did
thanked
he
me. It
love the
was
catio?
Oh, so that I don't let him go in the backyard
That's
because
probably a good idea. I did
still haven't
just
reported.
I didn't even think about that, like, yeah, because you literally cut a wall or a hole into the side of the wall, so
I didn't cut any well, I cut a hole in the screen. That's
well,
easily
okay. Oh, right.
replaceable.
It was a window. That's fine.
And then I drilled into the outside wall of the house. But again, the catio guy told me I'll just like fill those holes. They're just small drill holes.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a big deal. Well,
I
that's
don't
good.
give a fuck.
I'm glad, and I'm so glad your heat's back. God.
I know, me too. I had something else, another story I wanted to tell, but I did want to tell you guys about my landlord. That was first and foremost.
I mean, nowadays, like, now that Kyle and I are getting closer and closer to buying a house, like, I'm really gonna miss having a landlord just to, like, text and be like, "Hey, can you fix this and pay for it?" Like, that's gonna
Yeah.
be really
I
gonna
feel
miss
like I
that.
own this house because I pretty much just do everything on my own. And it
Mhm.
is a lot of work, but it's also Emily's like fully in the house search now, which I don't think we've told them because I didn't even really
Mhm.
find out till like last week. And it's so exciting. Now I get to hear about all the houses Emily's looking at. And I'm just like, I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, it's fun. We finally got pre-approved, which is really scary. Just, like, actually looking at numbers and money and, like, how
Yeah.
poor I'm going to be after buying a house. But, yeah, we really just started looking. We've only seen 2, and we're, like, kind of serious if we do find the right house, but also, like, realistically probably won't put an offer in on a house for another couple, I don't know, maybe a month or 2. So, but, yeah, I mean, it's fun. Kyle and I are the type of people where we are falling in love with every fucking house we see, of course, and, like,
Yeah.
doing that thing where we're driving home and be like, "Oh my god, well, this room would be so good for this, and, like, we could
Oh,
do
but
this
that's
here."
so fun. I
Yeah,
have like
no,
goosebumps. That
it
is
is really
really like
fun,
beautiful.
and I think it's, like, more excruciating having to, like, come home to his parents' house afterwards and be like, "Ugh, this again?" But
Yeah,
it's
but at
fine.
least you're, like, in the phase where you can really start to visualize it and, like, you're
Mhm.
approved and you're like, you're making the steps and it's happening. So it's not like you were just sitting, waiting, saving money. Now you're, like, in it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is so fun. I mean, I am, like, I've got my work email on one screen and, like, Zillow on the other at work.
Do
So
you have any, like, non-negotiables for a house? You guys are pretty flexible. But is there anything you'd be like, "Absolutely not," or is there something you're like, "I need?"
Not really. I'm being, like, honestly kinda picky about my bathroom vanity, which I know completely replaceable. I understand that, like, those are things that you can change in a house if you have the space, but I don't know, like, when I lived in the last row home in Baltimore, like, world's
Mhm.
tiniest fucking bathroom, and I was like, "I will never do this again." Like, I will never have one of those vanities where it's just sink, you know?
Yeah, I'm not doing the just sink thing anymore
Yeah.
either. No.
I need counter space, so definitely not possible. Obviously, like, we would love 2 beds, 2 baths if given the opportunity,
Yeah.
because Kyle and I, like, love I could just see us, like, the second we have a house, we're gonna wanna host, like, 24/7, we're gonna wanna have our friends over all the time, and I would love
Mhm.
if I just had a million rooms for all my friends to sleep in.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
would be a dream. And, like,
that's
are you backyard, like, ride or die or front yard, or does that not matter as much? Is that, like, a bonus?
Kyle wants lawn space because he, like, keeps talking about how he wants something to, like, take care of, which I think's insane. I
I think that's
don't
kinda sweet.
it is sweet, and, like, he loves being outside, so I know that's something that he would love. I would love to have a little outdoor, like, entertaining space as well, but that's not like, if a house doesn't have it, a house doesn't have it if it has everything else. So, I don't know, keeping our options open. I would also love, like we just saw a house today where the kitchen was, like, the center point of the house, which I love because I feel like the kitchen is where everyone hangs out in, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure I'll get more picky as the days go on and the more houses we see.
You'll have to post a house tour without doxing yourself once you find the one and get it on
Oh,
the pod.
abs absolutely, and obviously, I keep saying, like, every, like, office space we come across, I'm like, "Podcast studio, can't wait."
Hey. Oh, yeah. Also, everyone thinks that we're stopping the podcast because of the last episode, which is sweet because we've gotten a lot of concerned
What did we
messages.
say?
I think just from the sales pitch of the
Oh,
Patreon and
oh, yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
yeah.
that was the only thing keeping it going. But that
Yeah.
is just like literally the truth. I didn't want to scare the shit out of y'all, but that wasn't a planned thing or anything. We just started talking about it. And thank you so much because so many people subscribed. I wanted to
Mhm,
say that. That was
yeah.
the other thing I wanted to say. So we have a lot more people there now to hang out with. And, we go into a little bit more detail there. But yeah, I didn't mean to we don't do like ads is basically what I was saying. So that's where our revenue
All our
is
money
coming
comes
from.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It paid for this, like, really gorgeous studio right here, so that was really
Mhm.
helpful,
Thank you
obviously.
so much.
Mhm, mhm. But yeah, looking at
I don't know like
houses,
what the
trying
fuck
to
else
think
to talk about.
yeah, well, I had my work trip, as y'all know, and I do love recapping those, but I was pretty tame this trip, I'm not gonna lie. I
Okay.
did get, like, really, really fucked up Monday night, but was, like, very in check with myself and went to bed pretty early. Um, every year, and I've told this story hundreds of times, a company throws, like, a really big party that's, like, themed, and they keep the theme a secret until that night, and the last one I went to was in Texas, so it was big, like, they had cowboys and a bunch of barbecue and line dancers and everything, but this year, because of March Madness, it was basketball themed,
Oh my
and
god, fun.
I kept thinking, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, if they have, like, the arcade basketball machines, like, I'm gonna be sat for the whole night," and they did, and it was so much fun. Oh my god.
Oh my god, nothing like arcade basketball at a work conference, you know? I'm always
No,
saying that.
literally. They kept well, they it was so funny, they sent an email right before, and they're like, "Wear something comfortable," and they put, like, a basketball hoop on the email, and I was like, "I'm wearing sneakers, like, I'm not wearing heels." Like, I'm
Yeah,
full blown going in my sneakers and jeans and just, like, a plain long sleeve shirt because I kept making sure that I could shoot in what I was wearing. So
of
and
course.
I beat a couple guys, I'm not gonna lie. I kinda put the work on
That's
them.
really beautiful. I have
Mhm.
basketball courts close to me, and sometimes I go ball for a little, so
Oh
we
my
can do that
god.
when you're visiting me.
I would seriously love nothing more. I'm like you know how, like, before we did our adult soccer league in Baltimore, we were, like, craving kicking a soccer ball?
Yeah.
I, like, really need to, like, play some, like, real basketball. Bad.
Yeah, that Miles likes to do basketball as his, workout. That's the only thing he'll do as a workout is, like, a
I
sport.
love
Like, he
that.
won't, like, actually work out. He will only work out in sport. So, he'll, like, sometimes play basketball with his friends or, like, we'll just go shoot, and then when my dad was here, we did the same thing. It's just fun kinda to
It's
get
so
out there.
fun. Oh my
We did
god.
it in
I
Florida too, basketball. Our neighborhood in Florida has Gaga Ball. Have you ever played that?
never in my life have I even heard of that. Gaga ball?
Yeah, I mean, maybe places they call it other things, but if anyone's familiar, it's in like a circle, kind of. I guess more of like a hexagon, but like a big plastic hexagon, and everyone gets in it. And it's about, waist high, a little higher.
Mhm.
Actually, no, it was like kind of tough to jump up on. So a little higher. But anyway,
Yeah.
you use your hands and then to hit the ball, and if you get hit on the foot, you're out. And it's like last person standing, so everyone's like jumping, trying to not get hit, like below the knee, basically. And it's
I'm
so fun.
I'm trying to, like, visualize it, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a tough time, but it does
Basically,
sound
there's a
amazing.
border around you, and everyone's inside of this little arena, and you're
Mhm.
like hitting the ball like this, like a kickball. You're hitting the
Okay.
ball with your hands and trying to hit people's feet. And then if
Mhm.
it hits one of your feet, you're out. So then like the next person just keeps going. You bounce it and you say ga ga ball. On the third bounce, anyone can go in and get it. And it is so fun. I forgot like I haven't played it since I was a lot younger in Florida, and it is really just like amazing. Let me know if anyone's played before, if this is
It sounds
relevant.
like something the state of Florida would come up with because I don't understand it at all, but
You don't
yeah.
understand. Okay, I can't explain it any better than I
It's fine,
have. So
it's
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
I'll look at a video later. I'm just, like, having difficulty focusing and visualizing, but it's fine. It sounds amazing. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you so much. Anyway, get out there, get to your local parks and play. Like kick a ball, dribble a
Literally,
ball.
fuck solid core, fuck core power. Let's go back to the basics.
It feels so good. Like you feel so much better after you play with some kind of ball.
1000%. Like, last time I played basketball, I had gone to, like, brunch or, like, a happy hour or something and came back to a friend's house, and she has, like, a half court behind her house, and it was probably the happiest I've been, like, in the last year.
Yeah, I guess that's
Like
why the bitches love pickleball so much.
and by bitches, you mean me?
Me too.
Yeah. I've
I'm
actually haven't
including
talked about
myself in
it.
bitches.
I haven't talked about it on here, not recently because 'cause I've been so busy, but, like, been playing pickleball, like, at least 2 or 3 times a week, and it's so fun.
Yeah, I don't like where mine is, and like I don't know. I don't like having to sign up and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would like to play more. I really would. It is so fun. Like every time I
Well
play, I'm like, I should do this more. I entered a tournament a while. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I was in a
whoa.
tournament a while ago. I don't know if I told you
Whoa.
about that. It was just like someone invited me to be in it. So then Channing and I did it. And we got pretty far. And that was only my like second time playing.
I love that. I had not one clue. Actually, I might have seen some photos now that I think about it. It's, like,
Well,
fairly
Brooke and I
easy.
were in a tournament and lost first
Oh,
round, and then
that's what I'm
Channing and I
thinking
were
of.
in a tournament, and we, like, did really well the first 2 games, and then the 3rd game, I think we lost what do you play to again?
11?
Yeah, we lost, like, 11-0, so
Oh. Oh,
but
okay.
they had some, like, really good people, so we
Yeah.
always knew who was gonna end up in the finals, but I thought
Mhm.
I was proud of my performance personally. Channing's great. It was me, like, bringing the team down because I haven't played that much.
Well, we need to add that to our LA itinerary then.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball, pickleball.
Yeah, we have a lot to do, and I we said this on the Patreon, but Emily is coming for my birthday because I'm gonna do something
Mhm.
for my birthday this year.
I'm so excited. I actually cannot wait. I have not been in, like, the dead heat of summer, so should be good.
Did you watch any more Temptation Island or no? Be honest with me.
I did not. I knew this was gonna happen, and I'm so fucking sorry because I lied to your face yesterday during the Patreon and
Mhm.
told you I was gonna watch. Instead, I decided to read, and you would get this, but, like, I'm on the last book of the Throne of Glass series, you guys, like, I can't put it down. So, I had to read, and I could not watch Temptation Island, and I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Brooke was asking me your opinion on Onyx Storm, and I realized that we didn't follow up.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I thought you had read it. Okay, never
Mm-mm.
mind.
No, I wanted to finish, Throne of Glass before I started anything else because I also just got my new Hunger Games book in the mail last week, so
Yeah.
I think I might just knock that out really quickly because it looks pretty short, and then I'm gonna read Onyx Storm because I wanna be, like, prepared before I get
Okay,
into
well,
that.
looking forward to your reviews of the
Me
Hunger
as
Games
well.
book, and maybe I'll read the Hunger Games. That could be fun. I don't
I
know.
mean, the Sunrise on the Reaping is, like it looks like it is short and everyone's loving it, so I think it would be a fairly easy book to
Yeah,
just sit down and
that
get through.
that could be fun. Maybe I will do that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
about Temptation Island, the only thing I wanted to say is that they didn't do a reunion, which I told you. Did you see that Nick Vile snagged the opportunity and did a
Course.
reunion?
Of course he did. I mean, if no one is gonna do a reunion, like, Nick Vile is gonna get them on his pod so fucking quick.
Yeah, and
Did he
I respect the hustle, but it was all the couples, none of like Natalie and Kay, I guess, did an episode before that I didn't really care to watch because I'd
with
already heard
Nick?
them. Yes, I'd
Oh my
already heard them
god.
say everything on TikTok live. But I watched the whole reunion and it was like pretty long. And I don't know, the major takeaways that I'll just tell you.
Wait, pause really quickly. He had, like, the main couples, like, the 4 couples that started the show on all together?
Yeah, like sitting like a real reunion.
What? Oh my god, wait, that's
He
actually
he
kind of iconic.
capitalized, yeah.
Yeah.
He saw the opportunity and ran, and someone had to, and yeah, it's gonna be Nick Vile every fucking time. It's annoying.
Yeah,
I didn't wanna hear
100%.
some of the stuff he's, like, very, like, quick to he's kinda like a Nick Lachey where he's like I don't but he's also he tries to act like the wisest person in the world, which I know people like him. It's not necessarily for me, but I don't know. So it comes off a little like smug and like know it all to me, but I'm not
It
someone who
does.
consumes a lot of his content. So, whatever. But takeaways for me, basically I don't know where you are in the show, but and this is
You
not
can
a huge spoiler,
you can
but
spoil if you want. Like, I'll finish it at some point, but probably not anytime soon.
and I figured we won't talk about it because it's going to be too far gone. But
Yeah.
Grant and Ashley didn't end up together. This is the only thing I want to tell you. He
Shocker.
was with a girl and she wanted nothing to do with him. But then after the show, which I don't know if you know, so he dates Natalie after the show.
Okay.
For a little
The
bit.
brunette.
Cheats on Natalie with Ashley. Him and Ashley get back together.
No
So
fucking way.
and it's definitely tough because she was getting like super praised for like at the end they can So, and again, if you haven't seen the show, it's basically trying to break couples up. He is in a villa with a bunch of single girls. She's in a villa with a bunch of single guys. And she does nothing the whole time. She just makes friends and he ends up with this girl. At the end, they like have the choice to send a video message to each other and they cannot send it. She sends nothing. So he's like, fuck you. But anyway, everyone's like obsessed with her because they're like, that's so amazing. Like she basically
Yeah.
saw a clip of him cheating and was like, yeah, I'm done. And then
I feel like very
it's,
early on, like, she was like even, like, really before he cheated, she was like, "I'm kind of, like, over it, like, I deserve so much better, I don't know why I keep taking him back." So I'm glad that she held out the whole show, kind of.
yeah. So I was like, I loved her. I still love her. But anyway, she did end up getting back together with him, which I was like,
Of
God
course.
damn. Like it didn't
That does
really
suck.
do what it needed to do. But then she basically was like, I can't get over everything and broke up with him. So, everyone has to go through on their own timeline. Like that's fine.
Yeah,
But
100%.
she has since like I don't know if you've seen any of her videos. She's posted just like a bunch of funny TikToks with like Danny and Logan, those two
I have
guys.
seen
And
some of those, yeah. Sorry, had to kick my whiny dog out. I guess no one in my family's home right now, and she, like, hates being alone, so she weaseled her way into the pod room, but she's outside now, so all good.
totally fine. We love her. You guys got some whining from her in the background.
Mhm.
But anyway, what I was saying is he was basically just like heartbroken over her making these TikToks and like his whole thing he would not stop saying he just like lost all respect for her. And it was
Oh
just
my
so funny
god.
because he was basically saying like her doing that was the same as him cheating on the show, which they kept trying to like drill in, but he was just saying the same sentences over and over again that really had no substance and just saying how much she hurt him by like making their relationship seem like nothing when they had gotten back together. So that was my takeaway. He's annoying as fuck, Grant in particular. And oh, the only other T is that fuck, was his name Tyler? Yeah.
Tyler and Taylor, how could you forget?
Yes, Tyler and Taylor. He didn't end up dating Kay after the show because she told him like off camera that her job was OnlyFans. So
And he said, "Oh, actually, not right now. I found you so fucking hot and sexy before and wanted to jump your bones, but because you're on OnlyFans, can't."
well, to be fair,
Oh my
she didn't want
god.
anything serious with him, and he was like, I'm a jealous guy, so I'm not
Mm,
gonna, like, I don't have an issue with it, but I'm not gonna
yeah.
date someone who does OnlyFans, which I think is a fair take. But he was super annoying the whole time. I don't know, but it's worth watching. I would tune in if you watch the show. I'm sure everyone's seen, but go watch the reunion on Vile Files.
Maybe I'll just not us promoting next podcast.
He doesn't need
Nick, first
us.
name baseness, obviously. Maybe I'll just watch that and, like, not finish the show. I cannot believe that Grant was comparing cheating to making TikTok videos.
Yeah, and she just kept being like, I feel like they were
Like,
like he kept saying she was attacking him. But if you've seen the
of
videos
course.
she's posting, like she's like, I didn't really think that I was attacking you. Like she was just kind of trying to have fun, like doing social media after the show, which was kind of what Nick was explaining to him as well. But he could not get through to him.
Well, obviously, he's, like, the definition of a narcissist, so that does not surprise me at all. I mean, she was literally, like, lip syncing.
I know, and all of them.
Like,
Like it's just like not that serious, but he took it as a personal attack. So
aw.
I feel
Sorry,
horrible,
Grant.
obviously.
Aw.
I guess we should move on, huh?
Yeah, I think I have the world's longest advice, so we should
Okay.
definitely move on. And I'm happy to start if that's cool.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hi, Kat and Emily. I'm a somewhat recent listener of the pod, but a longtime Wash Your Pillowcases follower. Thank you for helping me get through long work days and making me feel like I have two more big sisters. Anyways, I've been going back through old episodes to catch up on all the lore I've missed and found some episodes from early last year talking about long distance situationships. I thought I would add my story and also ask for some desperately needed advice. Sorry for the novel, but I wanted you to have the full picture. From there, we texted all day, every day. After Christmas, he went to Florida to see his dad, but we planned a date when we got back. I saw him once in between the night we met and our date when he dragged his friends to the bar I was at on New Year's to see me. Sadly, the bar wouldn't let anyone in until after midnight, so I didn't get a New Year's kiss. We drunkenly made plans for breakfast, and of course, when he woke up, he had forgotten and left the city already. To make it up to me, he made a playlist on Spotify with song titles writing out a message begging me to get dinner with him. The next day, we finally had our first date. It was the best date I have ever been on. We didn't stop talking and laughing the whole time. I found myself disappointed whenever food or drink would come out because it meant that the date was closer to ending. We made friends with our server who told us that the whole staff was talking about how well our date was going and how people were surprised it was only our first date. He drove me home, kissed me goodnight, and afterwards texted me that he was so glad he met me and was basically floating on the way home. The next day, I had to fly out for a work trip, and while I was away, he went back to Oregon. We continued to text all the time and started FaceTiming a few times a week and saying goodnight almost every night. We joked at first about him flying me out to visit him, but over time, as we started to like each other more, it became less of a joke and he was basically begging me. I kept saying no because I'd only met him 3 times. I live with my parents and they would think I'm crazy if I flew across the country to stay with a guy I've been on one date with. He was planning a trip home to visit family for the first 2 weeks of March, so I told him that after I saw him, we could plan for me to come to Oregon. We talked a lot about me visiting not only Oregon, but also Chicago and him visiting Florida and started making a list of all the things we wanted to do while he was home. Finally, he came home, but I had planned a trip to Ireland for the first week of March because it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. He flew in early in the morning and I flew out in the afternoon. So after his red eye flight, he came straight to my house on 1 hour of sleep and we got breakfast. We had a long kiss goodbye and then I basically went right to the airport. I came home from Ireland and we finally had a whole week together. We had a few weeknight dates where he would drive out of his way to pick me up from my house or the train station so I wouldn't have to drive as much since I have a long commute and would get to spend extra time in the car together. We got a hotel room that he paid for, then went out separately with our friends. When it was time to go back to the hotel, I was scared to Uber alone, so he ran from the bar to my friend's apartment so we could Uber together. One night, I dragged my friends to the bar to meet up with his friends, and he left his friends early to take the train back with me so I would be safe. He opened car doors for me, kissed my forehead, called me baby, honey, love, sweetheart, and overall treated me like a princess the whole week. To top it off, he's ripped and good in bed and has a great job. This is the week I paused my hinge and started rejecting men at the bars because I didn't feel single anymore. We had a few big conversations towards the end of this week. He said outright that a relationship was not possible for us. His most recent ex cheated on him while they were long distance, but he kind of brushed it off, so I don't know how much that factored into his decision. He also said that we shouldn't be exclusive. He said before that he needs an emotional connection for sex and that it's rare that he connects with someone, so I don't think he said this just so he could do whatever he wanted. He also said he didn't see me visiting until he moved to Chicago, and the next time he would definitely be in Massachusetts would be Thanksgiving. Yet he still wanted to talk every day and FaceTime a few times a week and basically keep everything exactly the same. I understand him not wanting to jump into a relationship, but I was hoping for some sort of exclusivity or plans to see each other in the next few months. I told him that I either needed for us to make some sort of plan for the future or we needed to stop pretending to be in a relationship. While we're not no contact, we agreed to mostly stop talking, though I did ask him to tell me when he was back in the state. He said that the last few months had felt like a relationship and this felt like a real breakup. He flew back to Oregon the next day. We chatted a little when he landed, but both let the conversation die. The next day, he stopped sharing his location with me, and a few days after that, he removed my location. This is where I need some advice. When I started recounting everything to my friends, I realized that when I asked him for some sort of plan, he misunderstood me. I meant in the general sense as confirmation that whatever we had going was strong enough to plan visits to one another. He took it very literally and said that he couldn't make plans that far in advance because he was going to be traveling a lot more for work, but still talked about me coming to see him in Chicago. I also realized that after he said a relationship was not possible, I didn't share that I would be willing to try a relationship. Not now, but maybe after we both move and settle into our new chapters. I've always thought I would be great at long distance because I'm very loyal and independent. So I commit easily, but I also value having my own life separate from a relationship. I have no idea if his answer would have changed if I'd actually told him what I wanted. Some friends have told me that they're impressed with me for standing my ground, but one friend has said that I need to go get my man back. Basically, did I end things with him over a misunderstanding of what plans meant or by not telling him that I would be willing to try things out? Should I even reach back out? It's only been a week, but I miss him and feel like every guy I meet, I'm just going to compare it to him. I feel like I might have just thrown something away really good because I got scared, or am I just romanticizing my 3 month situationship because I want what I can't have? Please help.
Hmm. I see both of her, like, and she gave two different friends' perspectives.
Yeah,
And I see both because it is like, yeah, this man's telling you you can't be in a relationship. He doesn't want a relationship. So I think it's good that you were like, okay, then this isn't just gonna continue.
we can't keep doing what we're doing. Yeah.
Which is smart because that's where we get in the weeds a lot, and that, or at least what I hear from you guys and followers, like where it just ends up really dragged out because you want to be with them and you don't want to lose them, but you don't want the same things.
Mhm.
So I think it's good to make that decision. Um, but I also think that it might be worth having a conversation of like, because I don't think it's a bad thing to put yourself out there at this point. Like you don't really have anything to lose. Like if you were to be like, I know you mentioned that you had like trouble in the past with long distance. Like the girl cheating might have played into his
Mhm.
answer, but like if she was like, "I miss you," and like I would, I just bringing up the conversation. I don't think that that would look weird or is like too much for her to do at all. And the answer might still be no, but I don't think you would regret like asking or telling him.
Yeah, I feel like in this situation, I mean, one, she kind of already did the hard part of, like, cutting it off, and she knows that it's for
Yeah.
the best because he said that he wasn't ready for a relationship, but I do feel like the bad part about this is that she could constantly be like, "Well, what if? What if? Like, I didn't say what I actually meant, like, I didn't get everything off my chest." So, the hard part's already over, like, he basically agreed to stop talking, so you've already done that. I think in this situation, the best thing to do is what you said, to just be like, "Hey, I miss you. I didn't really get a chance to say everything that I wanted to tell you," and see if it changes his mind, and if it doesn't, I think that's pretty much that.
Yeah, and it might be slightly more hurtful to lay it all out there and then kind of hear the same thing again because obviously that's a possibility, but I think
Yeah.
you'd still be going through the same thing at the end of the day. Like you'd still just be like not talking to him. Um so you're still going to be like grieving the same relationship. I personally I just like know what I would do, and I don't think it's embarrassing to be like, "Hey, can we talk?" Like, call each other and be like,
Mhm.
"I just feel like I didn't like you told me how you felt, but I didn't like really get to tell you how I feel, and like I miss you, and I would like to make this work. I know maybe that's not what you want, but I felt like I needed to tell you that that's something I would want."
Yeah, and she said it's been a week, so, I mean, maybe even possibly give it more time to see if his feelings grow even stronger on the other end without talking. I mean, that's, like, a real thing, like, he might realize that he really misses having that communication, which is going to be so important if you guys do decide to start dating. So, I don't know, I do think it is worth reaching back out.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, you could give it more time to make sure that's also how you're feeling, which it seems like it'll
Mhm.
stay that way.
Yeah.
But then also to see if he reaches out, which would be amazing and ideal.
Yeah.
But I don't
I
know. I mean,
also
I think I've done that before. Like, I don't know where she was binging on the old pod episodes, but like when I was in my 3 month situationship, like he made it clear he didn't know if he wanted to be with me. And I made it clear, like, I do want a relationship with
Mhm.
you. So, and I never felt like weird or embarrassed about that. And he never made me feel like that. And it seems like this guy's a good guy. Like, he was very thoughtful and normal, seemingly. Um, and yeah, I mean, he wasn't the perfect person by any means and like was kind of letting it drag out, but I didn't feel weird expressing those feelings.
I think in this situation too, the way that she's describing him and the way that she feels around him, like, I think it would be really silly for her to not be completely honest and transparent because she said that she hasn't really felt this way about someone in a really long time. And to not put that out there, I think she'd be doing herself a disservice by not being honest with him because you never know.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's worth him just like knowing too. He might not have an answer like right away because it is a tough situation with all the moving and this. I couldn't even keep
Yeah.
up with the states, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I it made more sense to me the second time that I read it. Yeah, because most of the activity was happening in Massachusetts.
yeah, I
And
realized
but
that kind of later on. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad lives in Florida, so I guess he goes to see his dad frequently, and she's moving to Florida as well, which helps.
Okay. Okay.
But he will be in Chicago, and that is pretty far apart.
It is. Yeah, it's not easy, but again, I just
He
don't think you have anything to lose here.
Yeah, and he also, like, I do think when you do start to get, like, into more serious relationships, like, people do get cold feet, so, like, the second you brought up, like, plans and, like, planning for the future, he might have just been like, "Oh my gosh, like, I gotta pump the brakes a bit, like, this is getting to be too much of a commitment," and maybe he, like, truly just needs some time to think, and like she said, settle down when he moves to Chicago and she moves to Florida and, like, actually can see what their these new chapters look like for them.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say, I do feel like she said, like, looking back, she thinks he took it really literally, and I
Yeah.
feel like that happens to me a lot with men, like,
Mhm.
where and honestly, like, I get that too, like, if someone's like, "I need" like, she was like, "I just need to know what this is gonna look like, I need a set plan of the next time we're gonna see each other," and I'm not someone who really likes planning, and I sometimes I'm just like, "That's I can't think about that until it's, like, closer, I
Closer,
can't do
yeah.
that."
Mhm.
Um so it could have been like, yeah, it could have been a misunderstanding, or he could have gotten overwhelmed. So that I think that's something to consider for sure.
Yeah.
But the way she wrote it was very poetic, and like her talking about like the her not wanting the food to come because she knew it would be over sooner. I was like,
I
that sounds like
know.
that's
I
adorable.
know.
Like that was really good
That's
writing. So
a Hallmark movie.
keep us updated.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what happens. I guess we don't have like that much time left, so I am gonna read this one funny story. I do have, like, some other stuff, but I read this on the Patreon, so I am sorry to those girls. I don't normally repeat stories, but it was
We,
just
like,
so
never
funny.
really do.
Yeah,
So,
no, I we never do. I think
this is
maybe
only, like, the
one.
second time we've done this.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, when they're so good, I wanna tell everyone. So I'm gonna tell everyone this story because it's pretty lighthearted, and my other ones aren't as much, but okay. Hi, cool girls. I recently had two grandparents who had passed away, and I feel like I've been getting some signs from them. I have never been to a medium, but I fully believe in spirits and life after death. With that said, I did some research and made an appointment with a well renowned medium in San Francisco. When I got there, I immediately felt comfortable and liked her vibe. Within about 10 minutes of her starting, she was asking me questions. She asked if I had a pet hamster growing up, and I said yes, given I haven't thought about this hamster since 2008. She said she kept getting pastries popping up. I told her that his name was Muffin, and she goes, "Ah, that makes sense. Muffin is dying to say hello to you. He keeps popping up." I started laughing because what the fuck? She was laughing and saying he was really cute and excited, and I was like, "Okay, hi, Muffin." Now, anything from grandma and grandpa? And the medium just kept saying that all she could see was Muffin, and he wants to tell you that he's really fast and he identifies as a fast animal. We were both trying not to laugh and to take the moment seriously, but I told her that he did always run on his wheel really fast, so that makes sense, I guess. After about 25 minutes of our 40-minute session, she asked me if I could just talk to Muffin and tell him I see him and I recognize that he's really fast. She thought maybe if I spoke to him, he would go away. So there I was, speaking out loud to my dead childhood hamster. Hi, Muffin. I miss you. I remember you being so fast when you would run on your wheel. Thanks for saying hi. After a 40-minute session, nothing else came through. I can't help but think Muffin has been trying to get a hold of me for 15 years. Thank God I now know he identifies as a fast animal. Anyways, I'm not really sure what the moral of this story is, nor do I need advice. But the whole time I was there, I was thinking about how I can't wait to tell my friends about this. We have been cracking up about it, and I thought y'all would get a kick out of it too. Long live Muffin.
Hi, Muffin.
Hi, Muffin.
Hi,
You're so
Muffin.
fast. It really is so cute.
I seriously, like, 40 minutes to try to get in contact with your recently passed grandparents, but your hamster who passed 15 years ago is blocking the waves, the airwaves? That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's like I think it's hilarious, and I didn't think about this yesterday, but I mean, it's clearly she's really missing her grandparents, and I think that would have, like, made me laugh and just, like, like, it's upsetting to not get into contact with the people that you were
Well, of
hoping to get
course.
into contact with, but it is kind of like, maybe your grandparents sent Muffin.
Some, like, comedic relief. Yeah, like, what she really needs right now is actually Muffin. She doesn't need to talk to us yet.
It's so crazy because I mean, you forget about like, no offense, but, like, I'm not thinking about my hermit crab that I
Oh
had
my
when I was
god.
8. What if I went to a medium and they said my hermit crab's coming through because I was playing with him on the kitchen counter and he ran off the side and died?
I
So
remember that.
he probably is haunting me.
What do you remember what his name was?
God, no.
Yeah,
Muffin,
I mean,
maybe?
we can just call him Muffin now.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Mediums are like that's crazy work that they do.
It really is. Maybe we have a medium listener and we could have a medium on the pod. That would be fun.
Oh my god, I would love that. My mom went to one when I was younger, to talk to her younger brother who passed when he was little, and I was, like, so obsessed with it. It was on a cassette tape. I would just constantly play the cassette tape. I thought it was the coolest thing that had, like that existed in the world.
Oh my God. That is cool. What did she say? Do you remember it if you watched it all the time?
Yeah, well, basically, my mom and my aunt went, and my uncle died when he was like 4, like a child, and they basically he got into contact with the medium and was talking to them, but he had like grown up in the afterlife, which was crazy, and it
Oh.
was my aunt's twin, so he was like kind of the same age as my aunt now at that point, which I thought was really cool. Um, Nothing like of, like, note, I mean, I'm sure there was, but I don't, like, quite remember, but basically that because my aunt has 2 young boys too, and that he was, like, kinda, like, living vicariously through them as they, like, were growing up, which was really cool. They did it as, like, a Mother's Day gift for my grandma, which was really sweet.
Oh my God. I have chills
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. My mom and I actually almost she follows one, not as, like, hyped as the Long Island medium, of course, but, like, still, like, a
Yeah.
pretty prominent medium, and her and I were gonna go see her in Atlantic City, but it ended up not working out, but she basically will, like, open it up to the crowd and she'll start like spirits will start talking to her and she just will start like asking questions to see if like someone in the crowd will like stand up and be like your mom's talking to me or like your uncle is talking to me, which is I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. It's so crazy.
I love watching those like videos like that. So I need to find the one that your mom's following. But you know, the car psychic who like is an Uber driver or something?
No.
I don't know what their account name is, but I see the videos sometimes on TikTok and it's like people get into the car as an Uber and he will have like people contact him for them and then he'll start asking them questions. And it's like them I mean, I'm sure I get the good ones, but like them like sobbing in the back because they'll have like
Oh
a
my
child that's
god.
passed away or something. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's like Deal or No Deal, but it's like medium version.
Oh no, what was the car one? Not dealer no.
Or
Well,
a cash cab.
Cash Cab.
That's what I meant.
Cash Cab was so
Cash cab.
good. I was always looking for the Cash Cab when I was in New York.
I'm trying to think, I was somewhere recently where we, like, took a taxi and we were like, "Holy fuck, like, what if this car coming up like, what if that was our cash cab?" It would be crazy. I was saying we need to bring it back. I loved that show.
Yeah, that was so fun. I think there's a lot of things we could incorporate. I guess it could get annoying if random Uber drivers started always doing like activities in the car,
I
but it
love
is an opportunity for sure.
the Uber drivers that have, like, the karaoke mics. I fucking love them so much. Like, the best I had one in Ocean City, and we were, like, on, like, 100 something street. I feel like you were probably in the car, and we
Yeah, I
drove
feel this sounds familiar.
all the way down to, like, 20th Street. It was so beautiful. Oh my god.
I
It's the
mean, there's
best.
nothing in the world like the feeling when you see like a shitty old minivan rolling up as your Uber, but you can
Mhm.
see the
The
there's
lights.
like Christmas lights
Mhm.
all inside and you know it's about to be a like a vibe. It's so fun.
100%. Absolutely.
It's so beautiful. I wish it happened more often. And they
I
probably get
know.
great tips, so
Absolutely. I tip the karaoke ones, oh my god, I'm like 50% tip, absolutely.
I guess if you're like sober and you get one of those, it could be like you're trying to go to the airport at
Miserable.
like 6 a.m. It could be a different experience, but
We one time we were in college, we were on our way to bid day, I think, so, like, vibes were, like, honestly not great, of course,
bid
and
day is like
me
low key the worst day of the year. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, we were not freshmen, we were sophomores, we were joining, like, we were on our way to figure out what
Oh, okay,
sorority we
okay,
had got
okay.
into, so it was, like, even worse, and it was, like, me, Emma, Alicia, and our other friends, and, like, none of us were feeling great, of course, and we got into one of those Ubers, and you know Emma. Emma was like, "Seriously, not right now." It was so funny.
Yeah, you don't want to get into one of the light up Ubers when you're in a shitty mood. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
well, should
man.
I read another one, or because that one I was kind of recycled, or do
Yeah, I
you
mean,
have one you feel good
if you
about?
if you have a short one, that's great. I do have a story, but, like, it's another long one. I literally had 1 long advice and 1 long story for today.
Okay, well, this one's like a positive, kind of refers it not kind of, it does refer to a story from last week about the girl who was debating cheating on her husband with a woman.
Oh, okay.
And she really wanted me to read this for her to hear. So I'm gonna read
Perfect.
this and we can close on this. It's beautiful. Okay. Hi, Kat and Emily. Firstly, I'll say thank you so much for your podcast. Your friendship is so wonderful, and I feel like part of it when I listen. After last week's episode, I thought you guys might appreciate my story. A few years ago, I married the man who I thought was my soulmate. We'll call him Eric. He was everything I thought I'd wanted in a husband. We bought a house, moved to a new state in the South, and we're planning our future family. After 6 years with him, I really thought I couldn't be any happier. Then I went to my best friend's bachelorette party. She lived in a different state in New England, so I was meeting a lot of her friends for the first time. I bonded amazingly well with one girl, we'll call her Chelsea, who happened to be gay. At the time, I didn't think anything of it, but we were really attached at the hip the whole weekend and continued texting afterwards. We couldn't stop talking to each other. Eric started to ask if I had feelings for Chelsea, which subconsciously I definitely did, but I denied it. The night before my best friend's wedding, Chelsea told me that she was in love with me, and I had to tell her that I couldn't be with her. Eric said I couldn't be friends with Chelsea anymore, which broke my heart. For months, I tried to deny my feelings. I really tried to go back to my life with Eric, but the dreams I had with him just didn't feel like my dreams anymore. I felt so lost and depressed without Chelsea. So, about 6 months after I met Chelsea, I left Eric. I begged Chelsea for a chance with her. She said she was also lost without me and that she knew we would end up together. About a year ago, Chelsea and I moved in together in an apartment in New England with our 2 dogs. The life I'm living now is better than any life I could have ever dreamed of. Her emotional intelligence is light years ahead of any man I've ever been with. Every day with her, I am grateful that I took a huge leap and followed my heart. I will say my therapist helped me a ton over the past year and a half dealing with the guilt of leaving Eric. A lot of my family and friends weren't supportive at first, but overall, I knew I did the right thing for me, and eventually they came around. It was definitely scary since I'd never been with a woman before Chelsea and had never even questioned my sexuality. But like Emily always says, a woman's intuition is never wrong. Thanks for reading. And if you don't share in the pod, please share directly with the girl while I'm reading it. You can even give her my email if she wants to talk about it. I'm
Oh
also
my
31
god.
now, married at 28, and divorced at 30, if you guys are wondering about my timeline at all.
That, I think, is one of the best stories we have ever gotten
Yeah,
on the
you say
pod.
that all the time. You said that
No,
about Muffin.
okay, I said Muffin
The
was the
best, the best
funniest.
serious. Yeah, it's a good.
Yes.
I just thought it was
I
a good thing for the other girl to hear. Are you crying?
admit no, not anymore. Tears in my
Okay.
eyes, but, like, not
Yeah.
anymore. That is seriously, like, oh my god, I don't think we've ever had such, like, a well-rounded, like, happy ending, taking a risk story like that before ever. I love that. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
I just wanted to read it for the other girl because I feel like we were giving her advice on options of like what to do. And I just feel like she did everything right, but still ended up like in her happy ending. Like she told Eric, it sounds like when Chelsea said she was in love with her. And that's when
Mhm.
he was like, you got to cut it off, which is so fair. But then she
Yeah.
was like, still feeling these feelings for 6 months or whatever, and then cut it off because like, I mean, we don't want you to cheat, but like we talk about it all the time, like shit does happen and things change. And she left him and started a new life, and that's okay. Like I feel like she did, it's not ideal. Like you have guilt and it's tough and it's hard to explain to people and your family and you're starting a whole new life.
And
But
you're
like
taking a
it
massive chance sometimes too because you don't know if it's necessarily gonna work out with the other person.
yeah, absolutely. But it's just a beautiful ending.
Wow. Imagine, like, so unexpectedly meeting your soulmate like that. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
you're like happily married. I mean,
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, poor
yeah.
Eric, obviously, like, love him to
Yeah,
pieces.
that does suck,
But
but
I think this story is even crazier because she wasn't even questioning her sexuality at all.
that yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, like, the most unexpected way, like, to form such a deep friendship with someone like that, that does develop into feelings that you don't think that she's, like, never that's never been brought to her attention before, like, her sexuality like that, like, That is so crazy and so amazing and so
And
beautiful.
that kinda is like some soulmate shit because she
Yeah,
wasn't even, like, having the curiosity of, like, being with a woman. She just, like, met a person who she felt like she, like, could not live without.
I have goosebumps again.
Yeah. I feel like we probably contradict ourselves a lot because there's definitely stories we've told with, like, slightly different details than this where we're like, I if this is a man, I'd probably be like, "That's so fucked," but, like, with her, I'm like, "That's amazing."
Okay, we're doing the best we can. These are our girls we're talking about.
I know, but it's like when a man meets a coworker and leaves his wife, I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
horrible."
Well,
So,
we pretty sure we've recently talked about that within the last, like, 10 episodes, that when your man
yeah.
can't stop talking about his coworker, they're probably fucking, or he's in love with her.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, I think we do always say, like, instead of cheating, leave, which she did, so
Yeah, be
that's all we
upfront
can
and
ask for,
honest.
really.
Yeah, upfront, honest, and cut it off, and obviously, we're gonna have a little bit of a bias towards you guys. We ride
Yeah, I
for
mean,
you.
there are girls, so anyway, I
Yeah.
do hope the other girl hears that because I feel like that story might be more helpful to her than any shit we had to say.
Any
Uh,
fuck ass shit that
um,
came out of our mouths.
yeah, especially
So,
because, like, I know that girl was wanting to explore her bisexuality, like, in general, but she
mhm.
also really had feelings for that specific girl, which is kind of, like, similar to this.
Yeah, no, it's, like, pretty spot on. So,
Yeah.
I don't wanna pry, but maybe in a couple months we get an update, see how things are going.
Well, I did say, yeah, I personally do want an update, but I don't know if yeah, I mean, I wanted to
Maybe
know
just
what
email
happens at the
us.
conference. Yeah, email us, let
Yeah.
us know if you want us to share it or not share it.
Oh
She
my
might be
god.
mad at us for our advice.
What if the conference she was at was my conference last week? Oh my god. I
Oh,
wish.
wow.
That'd been
Could have been.
crazy.
I mean, there's not that many women there, right? So the odds would be pretty crazy.
No, there's, like, usually, like, 10
Okay, cool. Well,
out
it
of,
could have been
like,
two of them.
hundreds. Yeah.
It's not bad odds.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, I honestly think that's all the time that we have
Yeah,
today,
that's all I've got for y'all.
but ended on
So,
a positive note. Love y'all so much. Thanks for listening.
yeah, love you guys. We shall talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.